Relax. No one's coming to your son's birthday. My fiancée texted minutes before the party. We are all at my daughter's recital instead. 2 minutes later, her mom followed with, by the way, I used your card, all $5,100. Pop some more on it. I just replied, understood. My son blew out his candles alone. At 3 a.m., I sent a link to the family group chat with one line, you'll want to watch this before. At 3:42 p.m., I was standing in the private room of Galaxy Lanes in Columbus, Ohio, holding a roll of blue streamers between my teeth while my 8-year-old son counted empty chairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, Noah said quietly. I pulled the tape loose with my hand. You don't have to count them, buddy. I'm not counting the chairs. He looked toward the entrance. I'm counting how many people are late. There were 24 paper plates on the table, 24 plastic cups, 24 little bags with glow-in-the-dark bracelets, mini chocolate bars, and arcade tokens. The cake had a soccer ball on it because Noah had joined a rec league that spring and spent most Saturdays running in the wrong direction with a grin on his face. The receipt was still folded in my jacket pocket. Room rental, $286.40. Pizza package, $194.75. Cake, $68. Goodie bags, $91.32. I had planned everything, down to the extra napkins, because planning was what I did for a living. My name is Philip Grant. I was 37, a local investigative journalist for a television station, and I had spent 14 years learning that people could lie with a calm voice, a clean shirt, and a smile that made you feel rude for asking questions. That afternoon, I was still learning that the same rule applied inside my own home. Noah adjusted one of the paper hats. Is Ava still coming? She said she would. And Natalie, yes. I checked my phone again. No messages. No missed calls. The party started at 4. At 3:47, I texted my fiancé. Everything okay? Noah keeps asking when you'll be here. Natalie had been in my life for almost 3 years. Her daughter Ava was 10. Noah liked Ava. He saved her the first slice of cake at every birthday and gave her the bigger controller when they played video games because she complained about the sticky button on the older one. Eva had a dance recital that evening. The recital started at 6. The plan had been simple. Natalie and her parents would come to Noah's party from 4 to 5, sing happy birthday, watch him open presents, then leave for the recital. I had offered to pack pizza for the car. At 3:51, my phone buzzed. Natalie. I opened the message immediately. Relax. No one's coming to your son's birthday. We're all at Ava's recital instead. She needs support today. Don't make this a thing. My mouth went dry. For a second, I thought I had misread it. I read it again, then a third time. Noah was lining up the little arcade cards on the table. Did she say how far away they are? I looked at him. His hands had stopped moving. His face was trying to look casual. He had become good at that lately. Too good. She said they had to go early? I said, oh. He stared at the cards. All of them. My phone buzzed again before I could answer. This time, it was Natalie's mother, Denise. BTW. I used your card, all $5,100. Pop some more on it. The recital dinner got upgraded, and Ava deserves a special night. My brain did what it always did when something went wrong. You counted 24 empty chairs. 2 text messages. 1 child pretending not to be hurt. $5,100. The card Denise mentioned was not a family card. It was my credit card. I had given Natalie the number 2 weeks earlier to pay the final balance for our wedding photographer. The authorized charge was $1,450. Nothing else. My fingers felt cold. Dad? Noah asked. I looked up. The bowling alley music was too loud. A machine near the arcade kept flashing jackpot lights. Somewhere outside the party room, a group of teenagers cheered. Inside the room, Noah stood next to a cake with his name written across it. I typed one word, understood. Denise replied with a laughing emoji. Then another message appeared. Great, add at least $2,000. We still need to cover the restaurant, tip, and Ava's flowers. I put my phone face down on the table. Hey, I said, we have pizza. We have cake. We have an entire bowling alley. That seems like a pretty good setup. Noah nodded. Are my friends still coming? 3 had already canceled that morning because Natalie had told their parents the party was being rescheduled. I did not know that yet. I only knew the room was empty. At 4:06, one person walked through the door. My neighbor, Marcus Reed, still wearing his electrician's uniform. He held a gift bag in one hand and his 6-year-old daughter, Sophie, by the other. "Sorry," he said. "Traffic." Then he looked around. His smile faded. "Where is everybody?" I answered carefully. "Change of plans." Marcus looked at Noah. Then he looked at me. He understood enough not to ask another question in front of my son. Sophie ran toward Noah holding a glittery card. "I drew you scoring a goal," she said. "But I didn't know what your uniform looked like, so I made it green." Noah smiled for the first time since we arrived. "That's okay. Green is my second favorite color." "What's your first?" "Blue. I used blue for the sky." "That counts." At 4:31, Marcus ordered another pizza, even though we already had too much food. At 4:48, Sophie and Noah bowled with the bumpers up, while Marcus and I sat behind them. He kept his voice low. "Philip, what happened?" I handed him my phone. He read Natalie's message. Then Denise's. He looked up slowly. $5,100. "I'm checking it now." I opened the banking app. There were 11 charges. A restaurant deposit. A limousine company. A florist. A downtown hotel. A boutique called Petite Étoile. A catering company. 2 charges marked as pending. 1 charge for $812.19 at a jewelry store. Marcus stared at the screen. "Did you approve any of this?" "No." "Did you approve her having the card?" "No." My voice stayed level, but my hands were shaking. I took screenshots. Every charge, every timestamp, every message. At 5:12, I carried the cake toward the table. Noah sat between Marcus and Sophie. I lit 8 candles. The room was mostly empty. The blue streamers looked ridiculous now. Too cheerful. Too hopeful. Too hopeful, I started singing. Marcus joined in. Sophie sang louder than both of us. Noah watched the candles burn down. For a second, he looked at the doorway. Then he closed his eyes and blew them out. All 8 flames disappeared at once. He opened his eyes and smiled because he was trying to make the moment easier for me. That was the part that broke something. Not Natalie's message. Not Denise's charges. My son was 8 years old, and he was already learning how to protect adults from his disappointment. I didn't scream. I didn't call Natalie. I took a picture of Noah cutting the first slice of cake, saved every receipt, and started documenting. Natalie moved into my house 18 months before the party. The house was not huge. 3 bedrooms, a narrow backyard, a basement that smelled slightly damp no matter what I did. I had bought it after Noah's mother, Claire, died from complications after surgery when Noah was 4. That year had been a blur of casseroles, paperwork, and people saying, "Let me know if you need anything," before vanishing into their own lives. Natalie appeared slowly. We met at a school fundraiser. Ava and Noah attended the same elementary school. Natalie was funny, organized, and good at stepping into chaos without making it feel like she was taking over. At least, that was how it seemed at first. She remembered Noah's soccer schedule. She packed extra snacks. She put a note in his lunchbox before his first field trip. When I proposed, Noah helped me choose the ring. "Do you think Ava will be my sister?" he asked. "That's the plan. Can I tell people now? Let's wait until Natalie says yes." She said yes. For a while, the 4 of us almost looked like the family I thought we were building. Then the small things started. The first incident happened 6 months after Natalie moved in. Ava had a sleepover on a Friday night. 4 girls arrived with sleeping bags, skincare products, and enough snacks to survive a minor emergency. Noah came downstairs holding a board game. "Can we play this?" Natalie barely looked at him. "Not tonight, sweetheart. Ava needs space." "It's the living room." "I know. Go watch something in your room." Noah glanced at me. I should have said something immediately. Instead, I tried to smooth it over. "Come on," I said. "We'll watch a movie upstairs." He nodded. As we climbed the stairs, I heard one of Ava's friends ask, "Does he always have to be here?" Natalie laughed softly. "He's harmless. Harmless. Like my son was a pet somebody tolerated." Later, I told Natalie the comment bothered me. She leaned against the kitchen counter and folded her arms. Philip, they're kids. So is Noah. You're making it heavier than it was. I'm asking you not to treat him like he's in the way. I didn't. You sent him out of the living room for one night. It's his home. She sighed. Can we not turn every little thing into a courtroom? That became one of her favorite lines. Not everything is a courtroom. Not everything is a story. Stop interviewing me. I swallowed it because I thought blending families required patience. The second incident happened at Christmas. My parents lived in Arizona. They sent Noah a remote-controlled car and a bookstore gift card. Denise and her husband Ron came to our house with 12 wrapped presents for Ava and one envelope for Noah. Inside was a $10 gift card to a frozen yogurt shop. Noah said thank you. He meant it, because Noah was that kind of kid. Then Ava opened a tablet, a new bicycle, concert tickets, a silver bracelet. When we cleaned up the wrapping paper, Noah sat on the stairs, turning the yogurt card over in his hand. Do they not know what I like? He asked. I crouched in front of him. They're still learning. He nodded. I like frozen yogurt. I know. I just don't want them to think I'm ungrateful. That sentence stayed with me. Later, I brought it up with Natalie. She looked irritated before I finished. My parents don't owe him expensive gifts. I didn't say they did. Ava is their granddaughter. Noah is going to be part of this family. He is part of your family. There's a difference. She said it quickly. Then she paused. Her face shifted. You know what I mean. I did know what she meant. I just did not want to admit it. The third incident happened 3 months before the birthday party. I came home late from the station after covering a city council corruption hearing. My producer had kept us on air until 10. I walked into the kitchen and found Noah eating cereal alone. Where is everybody? He pointed toward the garage. Natalie took Ava to dinner. Why didn't you go? He shrugged. She said it was a girls' night. I checked the fridge. There was no prepared food. No leftovers. No note. Did she ask if you wanted anything? No. What did you eat before the cereal? He looked down. Nothing. My stomach tightened. I called Natalie. She answered over restaurant noise. Hey, where are you? Dinner. I know. Noah is home alone. He's 8, Philip. You said you were almost back. I said I was leaving the station. That was 40 minutes ago. He has a phone. He has a tablet with a messaging app. You're home now. You left him without dinner. There's food in the house. He's eating dry cereal. Natalie's voice hardened. Then he made a choice. I went quiet. What does that mean? It means I'm not going to be guilted because Ava wanted one evening with me. This isn't about Ava. It always becomes about Noah with you. I stared at my son. He was sitting at the counter, spoon resting in the bowl, shoulders slightly hunched. He had heard enough. That night, after Natalie came home, she told me I was overreacting. Denise called the next morning. Natalie had already told her everything. Philip, Denise said, using the patient voice she reserved for people she considered difficult, blended families only work when everybody stops keeping score. I'm not keeping score. I'm asking why an 8-year-old was left home without dinner. Natalie has needs too. So does my son. You always make him the center of everything. He's 8. And Ava is 10. She notices that Noah gets special treatment because his mother passed away. The sentence was cruel enough that I stopped speaking. Denise filled the silence. Life needs to keep moving. You can't build a marriage around guilt. That was the family language. Keep things smooth. Don't make it a thing. Ava deserves opportunities. Natalie has needs. Stop keeping score. I had used patience as an excuse because I wanted the relationship to work. I wanted Noah to have a stable home. I wanted to believe the imbalance was temporary. It wasn't. The clear sign was not something Natalie said. It was something Noah stopped doing. He stopped asking for the living room television. He stopped leaving his toys downstairs. He started checking the kitchen before making a snack. He learned to walk quietly when Natalie and Ava were getting ready for events. One night, I found him sitting on his bedroom floor building a Lego set with the lights off. Why are you sitting in the dark? He looked up. Natalie said she had a headache. You can turn on your lamp. It's okay. Noah. He reached for the switch. His hand paused. I don't want to bother anybody. That should have been the day I ended the engagement. Instead, I told myself we needed better communication. I thought it was temporary. It wasn't. The morning after Noah's party, my phone had 43 missed calls. Natalie called 17 times. Denise called 9. Ron called twice. The rest came from Natalie's sister, 2 cousins, and 1 family friend I had met once at a barbecue. There were also messages. You embarrassed me. Why did you freeze the card while we were at dinner? My mom had to use her debit card for the hotel deposit. Ava cried because the florist wouldn't release the extra arrangements. Call me now. I read every message twice. Then I exported them to a folder. At 7:15 a.m., I called the credit card company. The representative introduced herself as Carmen. I need to report unauthorized charges, I said. How many charges are we discussing? 11. Total amount is currently $5,106.83. Do you still have the card? Yes. Did you authorize another person to use the card? No. Do you know how they accessed the number? I provided the number to my fiancée for one specific wedding-related invoice. Her mother used it for unrelated purchases without my permission. Carmen paused. I'm going to close the card and open a fraud investigation. Thank you. I also recommend changing your online banking password. I'm doing that now. By 7:42, the card was closed. By 7:55, I had changed the passwords for my email, banking app, cloud storage, cell phone account, and home security system. By 8:10, I had downloaded the previous 90 days of statements. That was when the problem got bigger. There were smaller charges I had missed. $63.44 at a dancewear store, $118.20 at a nail salon, $249 at a photography studio, $412.18 at a boutique hotel, all of them buried between groceries, utilities, and wedding expenses. I opened a spreadsheet, date, merchant, amount, who benefited. Whether I approved it, I found 27 questionable transactions totaling $7,843.61. I was still entering numbers when Natalie came through the front door at 9:18. She dropped her keys onto the counter. Are you serious? Noah was upstairs with headphones on. Marcus had taken Sophie home after the party, then returned with his laptop and stayed until midnight while I sorted receipts. I kept my voice low. Yes, you froze the card during Ava's dinner. It is my card. My mother was embarrassed. She spent more than $5,000 without asking me for the family. No, Natalie blinked. What do you mean, no? I mean the charges were not for the family. They were for Ava's recital dinner, a hotel, a limousine, flowers, clothing, and jewelry. The bracelet was a recital gift. That does not make it authorized. Natalie stared at me like I was speaking a language she did not respect. You are really going to be petty about this after what happened yesterday. I waited. What happened yesterday? Ava needed support. So you canceled Noah's birthday party without telling me? I did tell you. 7 minutes before it started. I assumed you would understand. You told invited parents the party was rescheduled. Her face shifted. Only slightly. But I saw it. I had spent years interviewing people who thought the first version of a lie was enough. The tell was rarely dramatic. It was usually a pause, a blink, a tiny adjustment in tone. I opened my phone. 3 parents messaged me this morning. You told them the party moved to next Saturday. I was trying to make things easier. For whom? She crossed her arms. For everyone. Did you reserve next Saturday? That's not the point. Did you order another cake, Philip? Did you check whether Noah's teammates were available? You're doing the journalist thing. I'm asking basic questions. You are interrogating me. No, I'm clarifying what you did. She looked toward the stairs. Keep your voice down. My voice is down. A us is down. A us is down. Ava is nated. She stayed with my parents. That surprised me. Why? Because I knew you were going to make the house tense. I nodded slowly. Where did you stay last night? Does it matter? Yes. Her eyes narrowed. At the hotel. The hotel charged to my card. It was already booked. By Denise. For the family. I picked up the printed spreadsheet. No more charges. No more access to any account. No use of my financial information. You and your mother do not have permission. Natalie laughed once. It was not a happy sound. You're acting like we stole from you. You used my card without permission. For things we needed. You wanted them. That is not the same thing. She reached for her phone. I'm calling my mom. You can call anyone you want. Good. She turned away. I watched her walk into the living room, already speaking before Denise answered. He's being insane. That afternoon, the pressure moved from private to practical. At 2:06, I received an alert from my bank. Someone had attempted to transfer $3,000 from my savings account. The attempt failed because I had changed the password and enabled two-factor authentication. At 2:14, someone tried again. At 2:27, Denise texted me. Your bank login isn't working. Did you change it? We need to pay the balance for the rehearsal dinner. I stared at the message. Then I took a screenshot. At 2:31, I replied, why are you attempting to access my bank account? She responded immediately. Don't be dramatic. Natalie gave me the login months ago for wedding planning. I typed carefully. You do not have authorization to access my bank account. Do not attempt to log in again. Her reply came 30 seconds later. This is what marriage looks like. People help each other. I saved the screenshot. At 3:05, I checked the home security app. The side door camera showed Denise entering my house with Natalie while I had been at the bowling alley with Noah. The timestamp was 4:23 p.m. They had left the recital venue after sending the messages, not to attend Noah's birthday, to come into my house. I watched the clip twice. Denise walked directly toward my office. Natalie followed. They stayed inside for 14 minutes. When they came back out, Denise was holding the small accordion folder I kept inside my desk drawer. The folder contained copies of my credit card statements, the wedding vendor contracts, and a printed sheet with temporary account passwords I had made while reorganizing our finances. I had forgotten the sheet was there. My stomach turned cold. I downloaded the video. Then I checked the indoor camera in the hallway. Denise's voice was clear. Where does he keep the bank information? Natalie answered. Desk drawer, left side. Does he check the savings? Not every day. What about the honeymoon account? He won't notice until Monday. I paused the clip. For a full minute, I sat in silence. Then I replayed the audio. Not every day. He won't notice until Monday. That was not confusion. That was not family helping family. That was a plan. At 4:40, Natalie returned to the kitchen and found me sitting at the table with my laptop open. She glanced at the screen. Her face went blank. I turned the laptop toward her. The video was paused on an image of Denise leaving my office with the folder. I spoke quietly. Show me the folder. Natalie did not move. Philip. Show me the folder. Show me the folder. My mom probably grabbed the wedding paperwork. Where is it? I don't know. Did she take my financial information? You're twisting this. Did she attempt to access my savings account? She was trying to pay vendors. Did she have my permission? You're making us sound like criminals. I asked a yes or no question. She stared at me. Then she said, you gave us no choice. There it was, the answer beneath all the other answers. I nodded once. That's when I stopped arguing and started documenting. I spent the next 6 hours building a timeline. Journalists keep strange habits. I save emails. I archive screenshots. I record dates. I know how to preserve original files and export metadata. I know the difference between a suspicion and something I can prove. At 5:12 p.m., I called my credit card company again and added the new transactions to the dispute. At 5:49, I called my bank's fraud department and reported the login attempts. At 6:20, I drove to the police station with copies of the messages, bank alerts, statements, and security footage. Noah stayed with Marcus and Sophie. The officer at the desk was named Officer Patel. He read Denise's message twice. Then he looked at me. She wrote this? Yes. And you did not authorize the purchases? No. He scrolled through the printed screenshots. Do you recognize the attempted bank logins? The messages explain who made them. He read Denise's text aloud. Your bank login isn't working. Did you change it? We need to pay the balance for the rehearsal dinner. His expression did not change. That made the line land harder. He set the paper down. Mr. Grant, this is not a disagreement about wedding expenses. This is an unauthorized attempt to access a financial account. I nodded. I understand. Officer Patel gave me a case number. At 7:35, I called a locksmith. Email the housing attorney, removed the spare key, and disabled every smart home login except mine. I did not touch Natalie's belongings. At 8:23, the pounding started. "Philip, open the door," Natalie yelled. "You have your key. The garage code doesn't work. I'm limiting digital access while the account activity is investigated." Denise stepped closer. "This is a family matter. It became a bank matter when you tried to access my savings account." "You reported me?" she asked. "I reported unauthorized charges and login attempts." "You gave us the card." "I approved one photography invoice. Nothing else." Natalie's voice dropped. "You're ending our relationship over one missed birthday." "No, I'm ending it because my son learned to disappear inside his own home, and I kept pretending patience would fix it." At 9:42, I finished the video. It showed the empty birthday tables, Natalie's text, Denise's $5,100 message, the transaction list, the bank alerts, and the security footage from my hallway. The audio was clear. Does he check the savings? Not every day. What about the honeymoon account? He won't notice until Monday. The final screen read, "The engagement is over. Financial access has been revoked. You unauthorized charges have been disputed. A police report has been filed. Future communication must be in writing. Do not contact Noah directly." At 3:03 a.m., I sent the private link to the family group chat. "You'll want to watch this before you ask why the wedding is off." 9 days later, Natalie collected her things with a moving company. I changed the locks that afternoon. That night, Noah and I ate Chinese food on the living room floor. "Did I do something wrong at my party?" he asked. "No. Your birthday mattered. You matter." He looked down at his rice. "Next year, can we invite only people who want to be there?" I nodded. "That is exactly what we're going to do." The accounts stayed separate. The locks stayed changed. The boundary stayed in place. Access to my son is not a family right.